one of my missions in life is to preserve.
There is a reason why they are going extinct, why it makes sense to preserve them. They are not needed anymore if we're talking real, but I believe it's an expression of the whole lineage. New invention in the English dictionary. Here we go. With Vladimir, live.
Why passion fruit?
Bro, I don't know. It's a passion fruit.
History like that should be preserved.
Why would youngsters of the Japanese tradition be interested in preserving their own tradition?
It's a matter of the heart. It's not a matter of money.
It's not something that you can only wish and hope for in your dreams and eventually you're gonna make it. Start taking action, otherwise it's gonna be just a dream.
We don't need to wait for the story of humanity and the traditions that we have to die out. Welcome to the first ever Midnight Talks, and we're gonna talk about lost crafts, lost traditions, and traditions that are fading away in the world, that has years and years of tradition, years and years of history. But now, as time evolves, as industries and technology go, we are losing some of the traditions, some of the history of people, some of the technology that's been used to transform countries, like how sword making in Japan, especially katanas, have very deep rooted history to their tradition, and that tradition sadly is dying. So these midnight talks are going to be mostly about history, mostly about traditions all around the world that are, fading away. And one of my missions in life is to preserve, those old traditions, not just from my country, and I'm not from Japan, not from my country, Macedonia, but also from other countries like Japan, somewhere like in Europe, like also Mongolia, like all around the world, there's like these traditions that people have been making like crafts and art, and they have been expressing themselves, in certain ways. And I want to put a little bit focus. I want to bring attention to these crafts and styles that have been all around the world.
Yeah, fair point. I'd say to that, there is a reason why they are going extinct. Let's just quickly cover that and why should we preserve it? Why it makes sense to preserve them. So most of the times, for example, blacksmith's ship, that is going extinct. In fact, I actually made 2 gymnastic rings for myself with a blacksmith who was about 3 days before closing. So I was very lucky to get him. But the thing is, with blacksmiths, they are not needed anymore if we're talking real, because you have these robots, you have these factories that can just do that same work in a far larger magnitude and scale in a far lesser time and far more efficiently and with far less imperfections like a human can. So that's the reason why they are going extinct. Also same with other stuff. Now some traditions, for example the katanas, they make sense to be preserved because from my perspective and from my understanding onto the Japanese people, if you're Japanese, comment in the comments whatever you think about my opinion. But I believe it's an expression of the whole lineage, of the whole bloodline, because they have been handing down the father's katana from a son to a son, from a knee to a knee,
Yeah,
and
from generation to
to just
generation.
one day disappear just like that because a robot can do it. It's not the same. It doesn't hit hard. For example, whenever you write a love letter with ChatGPT, bro, you know it. Like the atmosphere feels electric. Yeah, sure, buddy. I would say ever that, bro. But when you write it down, the person who is reading it can feel it. You
I
get
don't
what I'm
like your
talking about?
metaphor, man. I know what you mean. You can like write a perfect love letter, but it's not you that you're expressing. You're expressing the best said words. Yeah, it's the best said words that you're gonna express to your lover, but it's not who you are or what you feel. And in the Japanese culture, especially the katana, It's not a love letter, first of all.
Yeah, yeah.
Like for
It was
one,
maybe a dumb metaphor, bro.
yeah, yeah. Like for one, I'm really bugged by the metaphor because I completely don't agree with you, buddy, on that. Like like, do you know how katanas are made? Like, if you're lucky, one katana sword, like the fastest that can be made is
Yeah,
like
actually talk a little bit
30
about that.
days.
Maybe the guy who is watching this, maybe he doesn't know how they are made.
Yeah.
So
So
give
what
him
I've
some
heard,
history.
yeah. So what I've heard and what I've researched, for one katana to be made, it needs to be, in the best case scenario, 30 days. 30 days just for one sword, and the blacksmiths are just, you know, hammering the iron, bam, 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 for 30 days to remove impurities. And they're like folding it and folding it and folding it for 30 days. They're just folding and hitting to remove all impurities. And once they have the shape,
Okay.
they even have different metals inside. One is to make it soft, another is to make it strong, and one is to absorb the hit, and the other one is to, to make it sharper. And it's like a it's kind of like layers of different metal inside of the katana. When you see the blade, like especially the one that's like sharp, that's a little bit different from the things that are on the side.
So it's not just one blank piece of metal. It's
No,
actually
like a sandwich.
like an art
Yeah,
inside, like
yeah, it's
one
like a
layer, two
sandwich.
layers, three layers.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like a sandwich. Like inside you
Yeah.
have, like let's say salami, and outside you have leaves, and then you have the bread, and the bread is, the strongest one, and then you have the sharp, like softer, or like I don't know which one it go, but
Yeah, one of them is
yeah.
heavier but not so sharpable, so maybe
And
that one
then
gives it a
yeah.
swing.
And after that, there's also like the handle, and the handle itself is a whole different story. And also, when you make the sword sharp, especially like the curvature, they polish it with different kind of rocks. I think the polishing only took 30 days, if I'm not mistaken. So they polish with one rock, they polish it with other, then the other, and another, and you get those curvatures as well. So sword making, especially katanas, it's not just blacksmith. That's like real art, real history. And to me, it's like the history of whole country, of people, of wars, of blood, you know. To me, it's like the history of human, human people, I guess.
Yeah,
Human
human
people.
people. That new invention in the English dictionary. Here we go. With Vladimir.
Oh
Live.
man, human history, of human history. I don't know. I just think it's like specific thing that's a gift to humanity, and things like that, like history like that, should be preserved. And if I can, and hopefully I will find a way to personally, take the initiative and start doing something to bring more light on this, and not just sword making, but also like other traditions around the world. And I want to research them more, see what's there in the world, and if possible, like go there and record a whole video and like everything about that. So if the style, like if the tradition eventually dies out, we still have something to look back on, all those years that we spent developing an art, a craft, all the history behind it, the families that were making it. So if I have, the chance, I would actually love to do that, to go around the world and literally document crafts and history that the world and the people, gave product to.
That's passion for you.
Yeah, that's one of my passions,
He just ate a
ambitions.
passion fruit before this, so that's why.
What?
A passion fruit.
What? Why passion fruit?
Bro, I don't know. It's a passion fruit. Yeah, makes sense. Now, to come back to one very important topic, why would youngsters of the Japanese tradition be interested in preserving their own tradition? Because they have ChatGPT. Eventually, ChatGPT will be involved into blacksmithing, into making katanas, into doing all this stuff. So why should they get into this? What is your opinion?
Why should they get into it?
Why should they start making katanas and preserve their tradition when they can make money online doing, I don't know, coaching
Man, it's
people?
not about money, it's about passion and like personal callings. Like, for example, I have nothing connected with Japanese people besides that I love the Japanese culture, you know? And I have like an internal calling that I want to document, this art, this crafts, of sword making. And just something that I want to do. It's not connected to do with money, but it's deeper value, it's more than just money. It's like emotional value, I guess. And it's something that I'm connected to for some reason. And I don't need to know why, but I guess it's a matter of the heart. It's
Mm,
not a matter of money.
mm. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. From a businessman perspective, it doesn't really make sense. But when you look at it from an emotional perspective, yeah, makes sense.
When we preserve a lot of art pieces that are worth like the Mona Lisa, and it's not the specific art piece or how it was like drawn, it's like the specific history behind it and how it was lost, how it was stolen, how it went from one place to another, and eventually it came to the museum where it's now preserved. So it's about the story behind the art itself. It's, the story of how the artist created the art, so that's also what, certain crafts have and certain cultures about. It tells a story about the way that they lived, the reason that they made what they made, and it's, I don't know, like just story of how people used to live their lives, for centuries.
You know, a lot of Japanese people, let's just come back to the katana example. Bro, I seriously doubt that now, as we're speaking, the youngsters of the Japanese culture are thinking maybe I should make my own katana. Most likely not. However, at some point of their lineage, they were. Like, as a family, they were thinking about that. But they have lost it. You can think of it as the candle has been extinguished. So, how would you, with your movement, reignite that candle? Or is that even possible? What do you think?
It's definitely possible to reignite a fire. It's just a matter of how and, the way that you do it. And that's actually a really good question. Like, how would I reignite the fire? I would probably touch on the stories and the value that it had to their history, to their personal history as a nation. And as a nation, it's something that literally defines Japan and who they are. And it's something that should be considered a national treasure, if it's not already considered like a national treasure. So I would touch on their personal moments in history that connect Japanese people with the culture of making swords and who they are as like their identity, as Japanese people, and then who they are as a nation. So I would touch on those topics, and that's how you, I guess, reignite their flame because it goes deep in their soul, in their who they are, in their core essence of being.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. With that, there will be a lot of people from Romania, from United States, from fucking India. Bro.
Fucking India. What's with you and fucking India?
Bro, watch my videos, you'll find out.
This guy.
Listen, bro, I would also like to make my own katana, bro. Like, what? You're from India, bro.
Yeah, but that's actually a good idea. What if you can go and experience, the art of making a katana for 1 2 week, and not just the katana, but all the whole picture, the story. You wear kimonos, you try the Japanese, like you live as they lived back in the days where they were making katanas. You learn some of the art, some of the crafts. You try some of the foods. you experience, taste, feel, and embrace the culture. I think that would be actually a very good idea if you can not just preserve it, but preserve it by sharing it with the world in a way that people would like to experience.
You know what?
Yeah.
You could potentially do retreats. So you gather people that are not from Japan but actually enjoy the Japanese culture, such as yourself.
Mm-hmm.
They would like to experience it on a deeper level
Mm-hmm.
and they want to see what's up. Maybe some of them even want to create that katana.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say once a year you organize a trip where you take a limited amount of people.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know,
10 or 20 people.
all around the world,
Yeah,
10 to
10
20
or, yeah.
people, and you go around the villages. Maybe
Uh-huh.
you start crafting your own katana and you experience the culture. Plus, for the people that watch you, I think that would be a very good benefit because you, my friend, now you need to make money to get onto his trip. Otherwise, if you're broke, you can't go and travel.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you're from Romania or from Macedonia or from, I don't know, Africa or
Oh, I just
whatever,
got an idea. But if you cannot like afford to come to the trip, but you still want to support this idea, I'm gonna open like a crowdfunding source. I'm gonna put the link somewhere in the description. So if you want to support this idea and help me bring this idea to life and go to one of the places, and I can choose several different world traditions, and I can put that on Instagram and people will vote where they want me to go and spend the crowdfunded money. And then I go there for a month, experience the culture, bring it to the world, and organize everything so people that want to experience that themselves can actually go. So I'm going to put a link down where you can support me and this idea by donating whatever you can, $1, $2, a coffee, a pizza, whatever. Just do it. If you feel like you want to support this idea, just find the link and go for
we accept Lambos as well, by the way. But yeah, but one thing that we can make sure to touch upon is we can only do so much. 50% of the work can be done by us. However, you matter as well. So if you sleep on this, if you genuinely appreciate the Japanese culture, if you genuinely care about that, but when you go back home, you play video games, you jerk off, you do whatever you want to do, and you don't actually contribute, first of all, to yourself, and then second of all, to the cause, we can't. We just simply can't do it all on our own. We can do it for our own pleasures, for our own sense of meaning, but we can never actually succeed to worldwide awareness if it's only the two of us.
it.
So it is up to you now. Do you actually want to be a part of this? If so, you need to take action. And
Yeah, you
how?
can just spread the word.
Spread the word, improve yourself, start making that money so that you can eventually come onto our trips. You have to. Like, it's not something that you can only wish and hope for in your dreams and eventually you're gonna make it. You need to find a way to actually make people come to you so that they can pay you money so that you can come onto our trips.
That's a very nice motivation, buddy. Go earn money so that you can pay us and come to the trip.
Listen, man, where is your Bugatti?
What's the color of your Lambo?
But yeah, on a
Whatever.
serious note, start taking action. Otherwise, it's gonna be just a dream.
Yeah, what Kiko wanted to say is you need to take action for yourself. If there's something that you believe in and you want to do, you can take action and there's no excuses. Even like taking little action is sharing the world, thinking about it, trying, motivating yourself, to improve your life so like you are able to travel and experience all these different wonders in the world. You got to take action, and change yourself. So what Kiko was saying is a lot of us are giving excuses, but what we need to do is actually take action and fight for the things that we believe in and for the things that we want in life. And if you believe in this idea, feel free to support us and take action towards it. But He was not meaning specifically this idea. I was just meaning in general that you have to fight for what you want in life. Not necessarily go and beat up
Yeah.
someone,
Yeah.
but you have to take action and you have to take charge of your life and say no to the things that are not directly contributing towards the goal that you do. And that's for me being productive. Productive is doing actions that directly impact your life towards the thing that you like. So you got to be productive. You have to take action and you have to, say no to all the things that are taking you away from the things that you want. So don't be a wuss. Take action and fight for what you want because no one else is going to do that for you.
Exactly. And now, as my personal closing words, you will never truly appreciate your arm until you lose it one day. But then it's gonna be too late. So if you sleep on this, eventually maybe this culture will die out. But maybe it was so dear to you, but you lost it already. You can't get it back. Think about that every time you feel that resistance, every single time you feel those excuses pouring into your head, wanting you to give up. Because eventually it's gonna be too late, and no matter how much action you take, everybody is just gonna look at you like a fool. So that's my closing word. Now, anything you wanna say?
Well, thank you for the beautiful words. And like Kiko said, we don't need to wait for the story of humanity and the traditions that we have to die out. We can take action now before it's too late.
Hell yeah!